I wanted the lifestyle which I seen online. I wanted the lifestyle which I seen with celebrities. I wanted that lifestyle, and I just knew I wasn't going to get it doing what I was doing. I can't get a rental car. I wouldn't be able to go out, so why would I want to come to Dubai? This is what even like directors of these companies were saying. You can't go out. I'm not coming here to come out. I'm coming here to make money.
Welcome back to another episode of the Property by Kazy podcast. It's normally the UK's favourite property podcast, but today we're going global. We're in Dubai. I'm joined by my bro, Connor. How you doing, brother? You good?
I'm good, Kaz. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. So this brother of mine, I've known you for, I want to say 4 to 5 years. And when I knew you, when I first met you, you were very green. You just landed in Dubai.
Yeah, fresh off the plane.
You were 19 when
19,
you came?
Yeah. 19.
You weren't even allowed to go out, technically.
No, technically.
Technically, you weren't allowed out with us. Do you know what I mean? We had to slide you through. But I've seen your growth and I've seen your progression. You can check him out. He is Mr. Dubai, Mr. Luxury Real Estate Dubai. This is the man that has just sold the most expensive villa on record to be sold in Dubai. It was sold for how much?
$76.2 million, which is the equivalent of 280 million dirhams. 62 million pounds.
Which is a lot of money. I think it was 10 bedrooms, about 33,000 square foot.
On the button.
On the Palm, 70 meters of private beach.
Yeah.
It was
indoor pool, 7-star spa facilities that would put the Burj Al Arab to shame.
Listen, it was
Extraordinary.
a sensational property. It was the epitome of luxury. It really was everything that encompasses Dubai. And you at the age of now at 24.
25.
25 now. You're getting on. But you're the man that sold that. And a lot of people look at things and they look at it and they just see the shiny things and they see the bright lights and they're like, you were probably lucky or probably X, Y, or Z or, but they don't see the hard work and the graft. So let's kind of take it back. What first made you say, okay, I'm going to take the step. I'm going to move to Dubai?
I think it was for me, I wasn't satisfied of where I was at, even at 19. Mm-hmm. I was making maybe £1,500 a month selling cars at that stage. Mm-hmm. And it just wasn't enough. I had, a cousin of mine who started making a lot of money. And I wanted that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I wanted the lifestyle which I seen online. I wanted the lifestyle which I seen with celebrities. I wanted that lifestyle. And you just knew I wasn't going to get it doing what I was doing. And to be fair, a big driving factor for me was doing real estate I watched a TV show called $1 Million List in LA. Mm-hmm. And I would see these guys and women selling these huge, unbelievable houses in LA, and their commissions would come up on the screen like $500,000, $1 million. And I'm thinking, I can do that. If they can do it, I can do it. So, but, unlike a lot of people, I took action. A lot of people don't take action. So I was like, look, it's now or never. So within 2 weeks of really looking and boom, and here we are. Fast forward.
So you saw it. So you were selling cars. You're from Ireland.
From Ireland, yeah.
Ireland originally. So you were selling cars over there. What was your Did you have reserves? Like when you first moved to Dubai, did you come with money? Did you come with savings?
£5,000.
£5,000.
Not a lot of money, as you know.
Particularly in Dubai, that doesn't get you that far. So your first...
About 1 month. That was about 1 month, including rent, car rentals, deposits. There wasn't a lot of...
You didn't have a lot...
There wasn't a lot left over, yeah. There wasn't a lot of wiggle room, to be fair.
And did you have a job offer prior to coming out to Dubai?
Yeah, luckily, although prior to that, I was turned down by 3 different companies because I was classified as being too young. I can't get a rental car. I wouldn't be able to go out, so why would I want to come to Dubai? This is what even like directors of these companies were saying. You can't go out. I'm not coming here to come out. I'm coming here to make money. And they were all like, yeah, no. And I convinced this one company to, look, give me the chance. I'll book the flight on the interview. And by the way, I've got 3 other companies who want me.
A little bit of fake it
there, but sometimes you just got to put people on the spot. I put them on the spot. They gave me the job. I booked the flight there and then. moved out 2 weeks later.
That's it. And I think that's the thing for a lot of people that are looking to potentially change their life. It's all good to do the research and it's all good to be planning, but sometimes, like you said, you have to really just take action. And you
got to take action. If you know, there's no point beating around the bush, is what I would say, and watching other people, you know, do what you want to do. You got to take action.
Were you scared? Like when you first moved out here, were you scared?
Was I scared? You know what? I wasn't scared. I was just, it's a completely different culture. Yeah. It's a completely different life. I knew nobody. You know, I was going myself, not knowing I had a hotel booked for 7 days, not knowing where I'm going to be sleeping at, staying at, not know what food I'm going to be eating, not know who I'm going to be in contact with. So I'm not saying I was scared, but I was definitely, I'm not too sure what's the right word to describe, but I was...
You just not scared.
It's not scared, but I just didn't know what would happen.
Yeah, so there was just, you know, there was a lot of what ifs.
There was a lot of what ifs. You know, would I have the embarrassment of having to come back home after a month, 3 months, and saying it didn't work out? But for me, that really wasn't an option. So I did know that, look, I'm not going to come back. You know, if I'm coming out here, I need to make this happen. It's all or nothing.
I think that's it. I think at the same time, even if for a lot of people we're scared to fail, but the idea of being scared to fail means that you're never going to try anything new. You're never going to step out of your comfort zone. So at the end of the day, even if you didn't make it the way you did, the fact that you go out there, you do it, you try, you know, in sort of like, you know, indulge yourself into a new culture, all of these things, even if this wasn't the move that made it for you, it would be that mindset that mean that you would make it at some point.
Yeah, something else. Yeah, of course. Look, you've got to have the mindset, and if you don't have the mindset, then you know.
Because it's difficult. I mean, I don't know if this was to you, but I know for a lot of people in real estate in Dubai, it's, you know, your starting point is it's commission only a lot of the time.
Commission only, yeah, and even now it's commission only. Yeah. You know. It is, real estate in Dubai is commission only. You're not guaranteed a salary. You're not guaranteed a wage at the end of the month. You know, you've got to put the effort in to get deals. And if you're not getting deals, you can't eat. You can't live. You're not getting paid. You know, and what comes along with a lot of that stress, depression. So yeah, you've got to make it happen in this job. You've got to be a go-getter.
So, for somebody that is thinking about potentially taking a plunge, maybe following in your footsteps, you know, with the differences in culture, with the differences in the way the job is actually set up, what advice would you have for somebody who's potentially looking at taking the plunge into real estate in Dubai?
What advice? I would say, look, do your research first of all. I didn't do a lot of research when I came to Dubai, and I should have done a lot more. I felt if I was doing it now, I would have done a lot more research. I would have been a bit more probably social in terms of not going out to like clubs or anything like that, but going to, you know, events, meeting a lot of people, because in Dubai, you don't know who you're speaking to. You have no idea. And, you know, and you can, I don't know this is everywhere in the world, but Dubai, I just feel it's completely different. You know, you can see, you know, someone in rags and you wouldn't think, you know, but you put their name into Google and the guy's worth 2 billion. Yeah. So don't judge a book by its cover. But look, if you're coming here, you've got to work hard. That's the first and foremost. You've got to put the effort in. You've got to have them late nights in the office. You've got to be on your phone. You've got to be making calls. And you've got to prepare to take a lot of rejection. Yeah. This job, you take a lot of rejection.
See, I think is that why you got the love around you of it. Where are we? We're peanut, pistachio, and a little pudding here. She's out for the count. You just surrounded yourself by love to make up for, you know what I mean, for all the rejection.
All the rejection.
So how long did it take you to get your first deal across the line?
I got my first deal on the 3rd week of being in Dubai. Okay. It was a leasing. So I started off leasing and rentals in an area called Jumeirah Village Triangle, Jumeirah Park. And look, again, as soon as I came into that office, I knew already that I was the hardest working person in here. And I needed to be because I'm new. Yeah. And I was hungry. So I was going in with an attitude of, you know, I don't care who my colleague is. I'm coming here to work. You know, if they're getting in the way, they're going to get out of the way. So yeah, but entering into, you know, probably coming into the middle of the third week, I struck a rental deal. It was worth 7,000 dirham to me, net, which is around £1,500, give or take. And that quickly followed by another one the week after, which was the exact same commission amount, £1,500. So yeah, I ended up with $3,000.
Was that like your light bulb moment?
That was like the light bulb moment. I was like, look, this is, you know, I just need to replicate this, replicate that, replicate the same process. How did I first of all get that listing? Banging out the phone calls at 9 o'clock at night, banging out, banging out. And yeah, so that was the first 2 deals. You know, I got it within the first month. And a lot of people always ask me, you know, is that quick? Yeah, I felt like it was maybe quick looking back on it now, but now I see people come and within the first week they're getting deals. And I'm like,
oh, you don't know what I had to go through to get my first deal.
Exactly. It's like, nah, this is, you know, has it just landed in your lap? But no, look, most of the times it doesn't. You know, you got to put the effort in. Yeah. But it is a place where you can make things happen here with the right attitude, determination, and putting yourself in the right position.
And that's the thing, with the structure being really different to the UK structure, being more of an American style structure.
Yes, for
where
sure.
Where it's, you know, in most cases, no basic, and then higher. What's like the sort of average industry standards for commission splits within the industry?
So in leasing and rentals, you know, the client who wants to rent will pay 5% of the annual lease agreement. So say, for example, if the lease agreement is £100,000, let's say a very expensive lease, £100,000 for the year, then the commission will be 5% of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the company or for the individual?
So it depends. Different companies are different, you know. So when I started off, it was a 50-50 split.
Yeah, I see.
So say, for example, the commission's 10 grand. Okay, I would pocket net to me 5 grand. Yeah. And obviously, if you get to a senior consultant, which you need to have your target hit 3 consecutive months, a certain target, then you'll get moved maybe to a different commission structure, which would be 55% or 60%. Some cases it can be more depending on the company, you know.
Depending on our value.
Mine's completely different to what it is now, but depending on what, you know.
Because that's it effectively. When you determine your value, as you increase your, like you said, your network, your circle, your contacts, when effectively you're bringing the buyers together, the sellers together, people are coming to you because of you, the brand is maybe, or the company is just facilitating the process, but you're bringing a lot more to the table. But I think we'll speak about the earlier on stage. Yeah. We're saying it's sort of 50-50, but I think even for somebody that's in real estate in the UK, typically, you know, in most parts of the UK, the rental figures are a lot lower. Even in London, you know, it's not all areas where you've got really, really high value rental contracts. So people's commissions over there are sort of 10% of 10%. They're only looking at sort of 1%. So they might be, you know, a couple of £100, whereas you're talking about a couple of thousand.
Yeah. I'm just saying that hypothetically
as an example. But generally speaking, the commission means that if you're doing well, your earning potential would outstrip that of somebody in real estate.
Well, this is the thing in real estate. So what you get. So say, for example, if the sale you get in wherever it is, London is 1%, then you only get 10% of that 1%, right?
Exactly.
So it's like when I was selling cars. So I got a percentage of the profit made on the car. So if the profit was £1,000, I got 10% of that profit, which is only £100.
And it's
how much business do you have to do to make that, you know? So here, obviously, there is definitely a lot more commission to be made, just of the way it is structured, just of the way of the normality here in terms of dealing in property transactions. It's like the US.
Exactly. So with that market, I think that's the thing is, and with any type of opportunity, whether it be investment or business, it's really risk and reward. For the fact that you're not taking a basic, you don't have that safety net, you potentially have the opportunity to make those high exponential income, but you do have to put the work in. And obviously there is the extra risk. If you don't put the work in or just are unlucky, you don't get paid.
Exactly.
So when did you transition into sales?
So for me, I done the best part of I would say just under 18 months, maybe, yeah, just under 18 months of doing leasing. Obviously, I progressed from doing a completely different area to when I first started. So yeah, probably look, no, maybe longer than that. I would say maybe just a year in leasing, and then the rest, probably 4 years, have been solid sales.
How did you find that transition between the two?
Tough.
I think I remember it took you a while to get your first
Yeah,
deal in.
you know, it was tough, to be fair, because you've got to be, sales is it's a longer,
It's a long game.
it's a long game. You can't look at, oh, you know, I need to get one now. If you look at it like that, forget about it. You know, get on the plane and go home. So for me, it was, you know, again, but the process is the exact same. You know, it's the same process from leasing and for sales. You just got to follow it through, but you know, it's easier for someone to spend 30 grand on their year's rent than unless they spend £2 million on buying something.
Yeah.
You know, so the decision is often obviously a lot longer for people. But however, to get paid on it, even if you do a deal and say, for example, the buyer's, you know, taking a mortgage and the seller has a mortgage on your house, you've got to count yourself for 90 days for you getting paid until that transaction completes.
Exactly.
You know,
So the whole process.
The whole
is
process
drawn
is
out.
longer. While on a lease, as soon as they sign, you getting paid.
Pay me.
pay me. You know, so you've got to look. It's just different. It's different. You've just got to, you know, bear with it. And
How did it feel when you got your first paycheck from a sale? Because it was what was the value of the property? Do you remember?
well, you know what? When I was in leasing, I sold an off-plan apartment, so I got paid about £5,000 on that one. But my first proper, you know, resale, good deal, was 50 grand pounds. Yeah.
That felt.
Yeah,
Did
so
that felt.
yeah,
That
that felt-
warm your chest a little
Yeah,
bit.
that warmed the chest. Yeah, definitely. It definitely warmed the chest. So I looked at that, and obviously the day I got paid, you know, out here, your bank account, you
get the alert.
you get the text message.
Yeah.
Emirates MBD comes up, 250,000 dirhams is credited into your bank account. And then you straight on the currency exchange.
Just double check
What's
it.
that?
Just screenshot it.
Yeah, that's 50
Did you
grand.
screenshot your
Yeah,
first
of course
one
I
that came
did.
through.
Of course I did. Yeah, of course I did. And sent it back to the parents back home, and was like, yeah, look, I just made 50 grand.
Yeah.
And
Was that another light bulb moment there where you said
that
right,
was a light bulb moment for me. That was the moment for me. It's like, look, that's, you know, this can, again, I've just got to kick on. I can either go one way or the other, and that nearly very, very closely went the wrong way.
Because I think that's the thing with Dubai. There is a lot of distraction. There's a lot of lifestyle. You know, this like you know,
Very easy to get caught up in the lifestyle.
It's very easy to get caught up because it's like people that money literally is like water to them.
Yeah.
You know, your neighbors, your people that you're seeing and speaking to. So when people normalize like exorbitant spending, you know, you've just made 50 grand. So even if you were still 21, 22 at that stage, you're like looking at it like, well, yeah, I've got loads of money. I'll just make it again.
Yeah.
Whereas you still have to close that deal. You still got to build that.
It's not as easy
pipeline.
to make it than it is to spend it.
I'll
It's
tell
a
you
lot
that.
easier to spend it than it is to make it. That's for sure.
So that was that second light bulb moment. Big deal. You've closed like your first, 5-figure deal. And I remember I was speaking to Pete at the time, and he said, yeah, Connor's becoming a monster. I can see he's on it. And that was kind of when you said, right, you're pushing into focusing on, I want to be doing the big deals.
I want to do high-end property.
I want to do high-end properties. That's when the transition from Connor to Mr. Luxury Property Dubai started, right?
Correct. Yeah. No, after that deal, and to be fair, even before that deal happened, I ended up doing these big deals in leasing. So I was doing, I think there was one at £400,000 for a year's rent. That's crazy. It's like nearly 2 million dirham. Yeah. And no one was doing, any of these leases at all. I think it was a record at the time, actually. And obviously 5% of that is still
a significant sum of
still
money.
big, and that's the equivalent of maybe some sales here, or certainly even more than that. So I was doing still a lot of these in the background, but once the sale came in, it was like that for me. That was the light bulb. It was continuing on. This is what I want to do. I want to do luxury. I need to, and it was kind of all over the show there too. It was like dibbling and dabbling in different areas.
Bit of high-end leasing, bit of sales, bit
Yeah,
of off-plan,
but
bit of different areas.
I was almost like a jack of all trades. And a jack of all trades is no use. It's no use. You've got to be an area specialist. So I had to focus. I took a lot of time, going to different projects, meeting a lot of different developers, getting price per square foot and different. Because when you deal in this high-end market, and someone comes to me now with a $10 million budget, say for example, they're looking here, there, everywhere, and I need to be able to. Okay, what's the price per square foot? You need to round these things off.
That becomes a lot more important because you need to understand
knowledge.
Yeah, what is actually good value for money? What is gonna, even if it's a property that needs modernization, at what point are you coming in at per square foot that you could justify buying it and still spending money on it afterwards?
Yeah. And for a developer, it's not only buying it, spending money on it, it's about what's in it for them.
Yeah, is there a margin?
So I focused more so after I started short-sighting myself, and I knew I was missing deals because I was here, there, and everywhere. I was a jack of all trades rather than an area specialist. I started focusing on one particular area at the time, and it was Emirates Hills, which is the Beverly Hills of Dubai for people who don't know that. And for me, trying to get listings in that area when there's so much competition and everyone wants to do high end, why wouldn't they? Yeah. I took a different approach. So rather than what everyone was doing or whoever was already established at that, I went to the best broker in that area and I says, look, I want to shadow you. I want to see what you're doing. That's what I want to do. And at first he was like, who's this little guy? Not showing me the time of the day. Now he's my business partner.
Well, there you go. But you know what? Just to touch on that, and that's what we speak about, whether it's in property, in business. A lot of the time, if you want to get your foot in the door, you've got to find out who's doing what you want to be doing, who's a couple of steps ahead of you, and go and learn from them.
You've got to, and don't be embarrassed to think that, oh yeah, because he's better than me. No. Honestly, get a mentor. And I didn't really have him as a mentor, but I would ask him questions, and he might only respond to me like now and again. But then I started getting a few clients, and then we would do viewings together, and I would learn so much from just doing a viewing with him, things that he's saying, and then you would pick up knowledge. It was becoming a lot of knowledge, but he told me how he was successful, so I just went and replicated what he told me, what he done. Knocking doors, doing the stuff which other people don't want to do. Who wants to go knocking doors, 40 degrees heat, and a 3-piece suit?
No, but that's it. Sometimes you have to
knock the bloody doors. You got to do the hard work, what people don't want to do. And I still do that. I still knock a door 9 o'clock at night. I don't care. What's the worst can happen?
Say no.
Say no. Get off.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the next.
That's it.
All right, so let's get to the fun stuff now. So you did that first big deal. That is what gave you the momentum, the impetus, the push forwards. What's your favorite deal you've done to date? Is it the big one? It's got to be the big one, surely.
You know what? I've done other deals for example, I've just completed a deal for a client who I met 4 years ago, and it started off as a rental. And for me, that was my favorite one. It's obviously the big deal's a big deal. Yeah, that's the one where it's obviously it's gone crazy. It's gone viral throughout the world, every country. But I think I was more satisfied doing this deal, last week, which I met the guy, I rented him a property, he's come back to me, after all these years. He's thought, okay, Connor. Yeah. And then, we've just done a $10 million deal. That for me was...
It was relationships.
It was relationship building, and I knew, I'm going to have a lot more of these, hopefully, because I've done a very good job. Look, the big deal has been unbelievable.
But you did some very big deals leading up to that.
I've done quite a few. Yeah, done quite a few. Yeah, a lot of big deals.
If you have a little nose on Mr. Luxury Dubai, you'll be seeing
at Luxury Property Dubai.
At Luxury Property Dubai, you'll be seeing 40 million here,
60 million there, 25, 20, 18, 15, 10.
You're seeing some numbers. So you've been throwing up some real numbers, and we're not going to talk about it, but you know the percentages. You've seen the money, so you've made some really good money. They describe you in the press as the rags to riches, Mr. Self-Made Millionaire, which now we have to commend you for. Since you started making money, do you think it changed your outlook towards money as a whole?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, yes, since I started making a lot more money, you do get to do the finer things in life. But there was a period there, you know, where I was like, you know what, I don't want to spend that. I don't want to spend that. No, you see a certain figure in your bank account.
And once it hits,
Let's
like,
just
you
say
don't want it to go
let's
below
just say
that.
$1 million. Let's just say $1 million, yeah. And you know, the moment if it drops a pound below that, you're like, no. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So,
Can I ask you this question? Because I
Yeah.
ask this question for a lot of people that have made money, and like, so you almost say like quite new to money. When was the point where you felt like you broke a spending barrier? Like, you know, like it was because the idea of spending X amount, whether it's on a bill for a night out or for food or for a purchase.
Yeah.
When did you break that spending barrier where you felt comfortable to spend some of the money?
that's a good
Because
question.
you went through a period where you was a bit of a lad in these clubs.
Yeah. Probably from the clubs.
From the clubs,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, spending
Why?
£10,000 in a night out is absolutely ridiculous.
It is. But and it sounds
and
crazy.
wake up for the same hangover. So I think probably after I spent 10 grand on a night out, it's like,
It's like, right,
yeah, chill out.
need to find a balance. But at the same time, as much as I wouldn't recommend anybody doing that, sometimes the idea of spending the money is also what gives you the fear to be like, I need to make that back.
Well, this is the thing. This is what I feel like. Okay, if I buy that, then right, I need to be. I'm going to buy it, but I'm already trying to figure out ways to make this money back already. I'm not saying it's a good thing to be like that, but I think you've got to be probably a lot more conservative, but still have that hunger to make it back, regardless.
I think
regardless of you buying something.
It's for a lot of people, it's really about knowing yourself, like
Yeah.
what motivates you.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
if you being comfortable and just seeing money accruing in your bank means that you get lazy and stop making money, for some people, you could actually make less money because you're spending less money.
Yeah.
And I think you really need to just understand yourself and how you're motivated.
Totally
And
agree.
I remember like, I never used to buy anything designer, like anything. And it was like a friend of ours, Elliot. He used to be like,
Elliot,
"Fuck,
yeah.
you don't spend any money, you don't do this, you don't do that." I was like, I don't need to. Let me just stay in my Zara and my H&M. And he forced me one day. He was like, I'm going to go and buy these pair of trainers. I think it was like a pair of Gucci somethings. And like, I was at the till like this. When I finally got buying them, and I was like, okay, I like them. I've got to go and make, and that's what, like, next day I was like, I need to go and make this money
Make
back.
the money back, yeah. It's the hunger. I think people, you either have it or you don't, you know. For me, exact same. If I go buy something extravagant or something, you know, expensive, I'm already looking of ways to try and make that money back. It is very easy to, you know, look at your bank account if you have money and think, oh, I'm comfortable here, I don't need to do nothing. That's the biggest mistake I made prior to making more money now, you know, because I got to a point where I had a good bit of money, and I got too comfortable.
Got complacent.
Yeah, I got complacent. I was being lazy. I kind of almost for you know a few months had lost the hustle, which I've always had, which got me there in the first place, and you know it didn't end good. You know, so I lost a lot of it, and I had to literally start from scratch again.
Go again.
And when you do that, it is, you know, you do go through a period of time of knowing what you had and knowing what you've blown is depressing, and you do go through a period of you're about, oh my God, like this is, you know,
Well, that's
ridiculous.
that's a testament to your character to be able to bounce back. 'Cause some
Yeah,
people
and you know,
see
you
it
had to. Again, I had no choice.
and they either get overly complacent or they say, look, I've made it, I'm not working hard again. And that's a really dangerous
Yeah.
place to be in. So yeah, definitely.
I found myself in that place, and once I suffered the consequences of it, I was like, no, I'm never letting that happen again.
Never going back. Never going back to the
it's
sunken place.
never going back to, you know, I've been in a position where I've had to sell. I've bought a watch. I've had to sell that watch just to cover bills, and you think, it's, you know, it's
But remember,
it's not a nice
you
place
were
to be in.
doing this at 21, 22, 23. Most people at 21, 22, 23 are just struggling to find a pair of socks that match.
Yeah.
So like the fact that you're having to make these high net worth decisions, you know, things are going to go wrong. You're going to make mistakes. And I think that's it with any business. Everybody's going to make mistakes. We're all going to have things that go wrong, but it's how you recover from those mistakes
Which
is what defines your character.
defines your character and builds you up for the future.
Exactly.
100%. And I have suffered, you know, a lot of losing a lot of money, being stupid with it, but in a way, I'm glad that it's happened because I've learned so much from it.
That's
Know
what they say.
not
You make
what to
more
do.
from your losses than you
More
do
from
for
your
your
losses
wins.
than you do
learn
in your
a lot
wins.
more from them.
100%. 100%.
Let's talk about fun stuff. So what fun stuff have you bought? I know you bought watches, but let's not talk about watches. Can I ask you? I think one thing that I think you really enjoyed was when you went to go and watch. What did you go and watch? Was it boxing or was it UFC? You watched McGregor fight in Vegas. I know you enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Was
yeah.
that up there with one of your
Look,
splurges?
Looking back at it, it was that's a memory. It's just a memory. Vegas is a memory on itself. But go and see, obviously, an Irishman fighting. And I was never into UFC. It's just him. It's just him, isn't it? And yeah, it was great. Went for a week. I went to Vegas and LA. That was such a nice thing to do. You know, I have so many memories of going on so many unbelievable holidays into different places of the world now, where I look back and think, yeah, that's money well spent.
There's more the experience.
It's more of the experience than actually having something.
Purchases.
Yeah, so you know, Mykonos, Maldives, wherever it is, it's the experiences you get from them. But also art. I've got into art recently. Yeah. Love art. So I bought a painting. Not to be fair, none of the stuff behind us, but I've got a painting in the other room. Splashed out a bit on that, and then I've went and bought and got commissioned Fleamore. Nice. And I'm seeing them as like investment pieces as well. Bought them at really good prices. I know I can make money on them, but I'm into it. I like it. But other fun things is, it's more of experiences, to be fair.
No, that's it. I think that's the same for a lot of people, you know, because watches, you know, clothes, a lot of the time they can just become investments and not as fun, but the experiences that, you know, and that's why you don't have to spend a ridiculous amount of money on a night out. But sometimes the memory of the night out is worth more than, ironically, the money that you spent. Same with the trips, the holidays.
Some cases, yeah.
Some cases, definitely not.
Nights out, definitely. I mean, some cases, but more so the holidays.
Yeah.
Is probably the highlights for me, to be honest.
Nice. So what I think I'm going to do, I told a couple of people that we're going to be speaking to you today. So a few of them had some questions. So we're going to answer some of those. So one of them is, we'll keep these sort of quick fire, nothing too...
come on then.
Nothing too detailed. So what's your why in life? What keeps you motivated and disciplined?
Motivated and disciplined. Look, I want to be in a position what I can do. If I have kids in the future, I can bring them up the way I wasn't brought up. So probably family, probably motivation. Yeah, will be my motivation. But I want to have a legacy. Nice. You know, I want to have a legacy. So I want people to remember me for what I do.
Which leads us on quite well to the next question, was what's your next target? Like, do you have I mean, because it's hard. If you sold the most expensive property, what's next for you?
Well, I've got to beat it, right?
For instance,
we've got to beat it. We've got to go bigger.
So for people that have got those bigger deals, we're going to make sure that your link is in the description below. If you're selling luxury property, you know the man to reach out to. You know the man that's going to make it happen right here.
Exactly.
So we're looking to smash the Dubai real estate sales again.
And it's possible. Okay, there might only be a few properties,
but they are there.
But
coming.
Some of them, you never know, it could come up, and I want to be that go-to person who gets that job done on that. But to be honest, I think probably expanding into different cities. So I do see myself in LA in the future. I think that will be a place where I'll maybe spend 6 months of the year brokering deals there. I've already kind of started that process.
Nice.
We're
going to see you on Selling Sunset. maybe.
Look, who knows what's happening in the very soon future.
Well, you know what I mean. Don't want to say we had it here first, but we may find something out. We may not. Just have to watch this space.
Just have to watch the space and see.
Okay, so then one that's kind of taking it back to the beginning, and you touched on it, but kind of a brief answer. Someone's asked, what are the key steps for somebody who's maybe seen your journey and thinks they want to try the Dubai real estate market?
Key steps? Don't get caught up in the lifestyle. Remember what you're moving here for. It's so easy to get carried away. come here with the attitude that you genuinely want to improve your life, not just live the life of others, of what you see on Instagram, social media. That's probably the biggest advice which I could give, because that's where I messed up, you know, when I started making money. But before, obviously, that, head down, it's solid work. I know everyone says hard work, and you're probably, you know, fed up with people telling you you've got to work hard, but it's the reality.
I think that's the thing. Like, people hate the obvious sayings and the repetitive stuff, but there's a reason.
There's a reason why people say it,
There's
right?
a reason why people.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the smartest people, the richest people, say that, you know, a lot of the time hard work trumps ability. Like, there's a reason why people say these things, is because in 90% of the circumstances they are true, and some people are an exception to the rule, but in most cases,
It's true. Yeah.
It's that. Okay, what should we do? This one we kind of spoke about last quickly. What's your plans? Away from art, do you think you're going to be investing in real estate yourself?
Yes, for sure. Obviously, I'm in the business, so 100% real estate, art, watches. I have gone into stocks, cryptocurrency.
Diversification, basically.
Yeah. So we'll dibble and dabbling with that. I don't like to have all my eggs in the one basket.
Makes sense.
So yeah, but I think property, look, as you said before, bricks and mortar, can't go wrong. Even if
Everyone needs
market
somewhere to
does
live.
crash, right? It's going to rent out.
I feel
You're
like
gonna
you
have
can
income.
see my screen because you keep like slowly segueing onto the next question
Well, I
really
can't-
smoothly.
I can't the way
I
you're
don't know
holding
what
it.
he's. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's got pistachio or peanut on a low key, just actually infiltrating the screen. Because the next question, ironically, is what do you think of the future of the real estate market in Dubai? Where do you think we're heading? Because it's quite buoyant right now.
Look, its prices have been the highest the word have been since 2015. 2015 is where, I wasn't here, but I've heard all the stories. It was crazy. People signing SPA sales on the back of cars. There are huge queues for developers. We're seeing all that now, but Dubai is still massively undervalued to the rest of the world. I seen a diagram which says how much can $1 million buy you in the top cities in the world. You look at Paris, you look at London, you look like New York, Singapore, Hong Kong.
Even $500,000, like what you can get for $500,000.
For what you get for $500,000
Yeah.
here.
3-bed, bed with pool.
It's so much
maid's quarters.
undervalued. And with everything happening in the world, unfortunately the war happened in Ukraine and Russia, we're seeing a lot of the Eastern European nationality move to here because Dubai is a safe haven to be. Low crime rates, great lifestyle, most importantly, no tax. Combine all these things together with a booming real estate market, there's still so much room to go. We haven't hit the pinnacle of what it can be.
So that's it. So for people that
So get in now, because once a train's off,
it's good.
when you get to the next stop, it's going to be more expensive. When you get to the next stop after that, it's going to be more expensive.
So that's it. I mean, for people that want to get into the industry, for people that want to buy in the real estate market, that's advice for them. For people that want to get into the industry, it bodes well, for people that are looking, because it's still a very buoyant market.
Yeah.
A market that, there's a lot of movement in, a lot of developments. And that's the other thing, like Dubai, much like a lot of the, like you mentioned, Paris, London, Toronto, what you see are cranes and developments everywhere.
Just mentioning them cities that you've mentioned, how many years, centuries have they been developed for? If you go into central London now, can you buy a plot of land to build a building? I don't think you can. I think you're going to knock one down to build, So this, the UAE, Dubai, just had its 50th anniversary. So it's a new city compared to all these already built up huge cities around the world. Like, look at New York, for example. If you look at the skyline, how many buildings compared to here is there? There's a lot more space built up. So you will see more buildings come up here. You will see a lot more developments come up here as the population grows. But remember that Dubai is still quite a fresh city compared to all these major places. And once it gets to, okay, maybe we might not be here when it does get to one of these bigger cities and it goes crazy, but at the moment it's still a lot undervalued to what it definitely could be.
That's it. Well, my brother, we appreciate you coming onto the podcast.
Great, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. So we have been today filming with Connor. It has been amazing. There's been a lot of conversation surrounding how to get into the real estate market in Dubai, how much money can actually be made, along with his journey taking you from moving here at the age of 19 all the way up to doing, you know, $1 million deals by the age of 25. So it's an amazing episode. If you want to see more episodes like this, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you've got those notifications on, and make sure you like this video. And we'll be back next week with another amazing guest.